Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to our math session where learning math is fun. I am Faithlyn Williams, your teacher for today. In today's session, we will be exploring skip counting. To begin today's session, we will look at three friends who love to collect shells. Mark, Jaden, and Lamar were walking along the beach one day when they decided to collect shells as they always do. When the three boys were finished, they decided that they were going to count their shells. Mark heard Lamar counting his shells and noticed that he placed them in groups. He was surprised at how Lamar was counting his shells. This is how Lamar placed the shells in groups and wrote the number below each group. Lamar counted 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Mark wondered how Lamar counted his shells so quickly. What do you notice about how Lamar counted his shells? If you said Lamar counted by 2, that is correct. But Mark was even more curious when he looked at how Jaden counted his shells. Jaden counted 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17. What do you notice about how Jaden counted his shells? Boys and girls, if you said Jaden counted by 2, that is correct. Maybe you are wondering, how could Jaden and Lamar count by 2, but they got different numbers? You are thinking just like Mark. We are going to look at how the two boys counted but got different numbers. We will use the 100 chart to see how both boys counted their shells. Let us look at how Lamar counted his shells. You will see a red circle appear around the numbers. I want you to count with me. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Now, let us look at how Jaden counted his shells. Count with me. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17. Boys and girls, what do you notice about how the two friends counted their shells? When I ask you to notice, I want you to look at what is different about their counting and what is same about their counting. Are you ready with an answer? If you said you noticed that Lamar started at the number 2 and Jaden started at the number 1, you are correct. If you said you also noticed that they were skipping every other number, that is an excellent observation. Therefore, we can say skip counting means skipping every other number. Or rather, skip counting by 2 means skipping every other number. We can see that both Jaden and Lamar were using the same counting pattern since they left out every other number in the numbers they counted. This kind of counting is called skip counting. Now, boys and girls, skip counting means counting by skipping some of the numbers. It is also the process of counting objects into equal groups. To skip count, we keep adding the same number each time to the previous number. So boys and girls, We just saw where Lamar and Jaden skip counted by 2. But do you think you can skip count by 3? Let us try. We will use the 100 chart to skip count by 3. I want you to note each number that we land on every time we count by 3. Say the numbers with me. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on. I wonder if you could tell me what counting pattern you see when we skip count by 3. Boys and girls, if you said that we skip 2 numbers when we skip count by 3, that is correct. Or maybe you said we add 3 every time to get the next number. That is indeed correct. Boys and girls, already you are doing great at skip counting. Now, look at this counting pattern and tell me what number we are skip counting by. Say the numbers with me. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. Did you say we are skip counting by 4? That is correct, boys and girls. Can you also tell me what you notice about the counting pattern? Wow! If you said we skip 3 numbers when counting by 4, that is correct. Or maybe you said we added 4 every time to get the next number. That is also correct. Boys and girls, you are doing great. I have a few challenges for you. To test your skip counting skills, boys and girls, this is your first challenge. I want you to complete this pattern starting at the number 5. In order to complete this pattern, you must first identify the number we are skip counting by. Do you know what that number is, boys and girls? Great observation! If you said we are skip counting by 5, that is correct. Once you have identified the number that we're skip counting by, you now need to add that number to the previous number to get the next number in the pattern. Boys and girls, do you know what the numbers are that complete this counting pattern? Excellent effort! If you said the numbers are 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40, you are correct. Boys and girls, you did well at your first challenge. Boys and girls, we will use the 100 chart to do some further skip counting by 5. I want you to say the numbers with me. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. And we could go on. But I want you to tell me what you notice about this counting pattern when we skip count by 5. Are you ready with an answer? Boys and girls, you are brilliant. If you said you noticed that the digit in the ones place is 5 or 0, that is correct. Already you are doing so well with this skip counting. I have some more challenges coming up for you. Boys and girls, I want you to look at this next counting pattern. 10, 20, 30. And some numbers are missing. Do you know what the missing numbers are? Boys and girls, did you say the missing numbers are 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80? That is brilliant. Now tell me what you identify about the missing numbers. Great going, boys and girls. If you said that, you noticed that we were counting by 10. That is excellent. Now, boys and girls, I want you to tell me something that you notice about these numbers when we skip count by 10. Amazing. If you said that you notice there is always a 0 in the ones place when we skip count by 10, starting at 10, that is correct. Boys and girls, you are doing so well at this skip counting. I have some other challenges coming up for you. Now for your next challenge. When skip counting by 5, what number comes after 65? Are you ready with your answer? Amazing, boys and girls. If you said 70 comes after 65 when skip counting by 5, that is correct. Let me show you. 60, 65, 70. You are doing excellently, and I know you are ready for some more challenges. Boys and girls, do you like to help around the house? Well, guess what? The next challenge that we will look at is about Shelly, who likes to help her mom around the house. Now here is your challenge. Read with me. Shelly helped her mom to pack some books on a new bookshelf. If the books are packed on the shelves based on the counting pattern shown, what are the missing numbers? You must give this one some careful thoughts. You have quite a bit of numbers to put in. Now tell me, boys and girls, what were the numbers that you came up with? Wow! If you said the missing numbers are 10, 20, 30, 40, 70, 80, 90, and 100, that is brilliant. I believe you have earned yourself a medal in skip counting. But how were you able to identify these numbers? I can hear you saying, when you look at 50 and 60, you notice that you were skip counting by 10. And so you tried adding 10 to all the other numbers. Amazing, boys and girls. That is excellent. Your next challenge is to look at the numbers below the buttons and tell me what are the missing numbers. I also want you to tell me how you were able to come up with those numbers. Boys and girls, if you said that you noticed that 3 is being added each time, that is brilliant. Notice that we began at the number 12. And next we have 15 and 18. If you said 3 is being added each time, that is brilliant. Now, if you said the missing numbers are 21, 24, 33, and 36, that is excellent. Now, boys and girls, what are the objects that you see in this picture here? Amazing. I know all of you would get that. These are masks. The next challenge is about Abigail's mom. Now, Abigail's mom is a dressmaker and she makes masks and sells them to shops in her community. She packaged the masks as seen here. Can you tell how many masks are in each package? Well, I can see you counting them. Are you ready with your answer? Great job, boys and girls. If you said there are 4 masks in each package, you are correct. But how were you able to tell? Wow. If you said you look at the numbers 12, 16, and 20 and notice that we are skip counting by 4, that is brilliant. I wonder if you could tell me what numbers are missing from the other sets of masks seen here. Amazing, boys and girls. If you said the missing numbers are 4, 8, 24, 28, and 32, that is brilliant. You have done exceptionally well so far. Boys and girls, we can see that skip counting is not so difficult after all. I think I have the final challenge coming up for you. And now for your final challenge, boys and girls. Princess Bee is somewhere buzzing her way home. She must buzz on each flower to get to her hive. She can only buzz on flowers if they have a number. But some numbers are missing from these flowers. Can you help Princess Bee fill in the missing numbers? Give it some careful thought, boys and girls. I want you to tell me how you were able to fill in those missing numbers so quickly. Wow! Boys and girls, if you said the missing numbers are 16, 12, and 10, you are correct. But how were you able to identify those numbers? If you said you look at 20 and 18 and realize that you were counting backward by 2, you are correct. Boys and girls, you have done amazingly well. You have helped Princess Bee and now she's going to make her way home. She is so happy. Wow, amazing. And there she is at number 20. Well done, boys and girls. It's amazing to see how well you have done with skip counting today. But before we buzz out of here, let me remind you of a few points that we have learned about skip counting. Skip counting means counting by skipping some of the numbers. It is also the process of counting objects in equal groups. It is also adding the same number each time to the previous number. That's all for today, boys and girls. See you next time.